So, another wonderful start for our shiur. It was interesting that I received a question from one of our viewers. So I will try to address it in our shiur today. I encourage people, if they have questions, they could send it in. I don't know exactly what address they send it in, but they...
Podcasts at or.edu.
Okay, podcast at...
ohr.edu.
ohr.edu.
There's an S at the end of podcast.
So, okay, but this is not a podcast.
No.
If this is a podcast, then, somebody asked me, Rabbi, you should do a podcast. Right? So this is it. You don't have to ask me to do a special one. This is it. And this is day 2 of the challenge. One of my students challenged me not to drink coffee so he could quit doing drugs.
Is that why you have cravings for chips now?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm drinking tea. No? It's not good? What's wrong? You don't like tea? Don't you people drink tea? Yeah, good. Chai.
Yeah, chai. But we drink it with a jam.
With jam?
Yeah, with a jam. A special jam for me.
You put the jam in it or you eat it inside?
No, you put it and then They also take a cube of sugar, put it in their mouth, and then pour the boiling water. Ah!
Sounds like deconstructed tea.
That's why he's always deconstructed.
Amen.
Ah, my God. Okay. So I think I should start with a question. And again, we should remember that the shiur is L'Refuat, obviously the Rosh Yeshiva, not the Ben Rachel, and of course, Eitan Eliyahu ben Rivka Liza. Hashem should send them Refuah Shlema. And I don't know, somebody set up for my shiur a WhatsApp group, and they put a photo. I don't know what that is, but that better change before I look at my phone again. Otherwise, there are going to be some serious consequences. I don't know what that is.
The meme?
No.
I was talking about the meme. The meme, there is one meme that, okay, never mind, that's not right now. Okay, so the question is what's the proper ishtadlus for a person to invest and grow the business? Right, there's obviously significant risk. If the intention is ultimately to support and strengthen the organizations in my community, should I go ahead and invest and obviously risk my finances? Or how should I balance my effort to succeed while ensuring that I'm relying on Hashem and not overstepping boundaries of trust in Him? So, I think that there's 2 parts to the question. The first part of the question is, in terms of ishtadlus and bitachon, it's really a question of how much emunah and bitachon you have. Do you feel that you need to do more ishtadlus in order to make more money? Or do you have a sense that whatever you're doing, you're seeing the hand of Hashem extending the opportunities and providing more financial gains? It's not a formula. It's something that you sort of have to sense. And some people, the way they do is they try to increase ishtadlus to see what the outcome is going to be, trying to see how that's going to work. So that's the answer. I can't tell you whether you should invest or not invest. I think that the etzem intention that you want to make more money so that money can go to the institutions, on the one side, it sounds like a very good intention. But mitzad sheni, the Kadosh Baruch Hu, if you wanted these institutions to have more money, he doesn't need necessarily your ishtadlus. He could provide those I'll never forget that in this room, we used to have the room set up differently. I don't know if I told you this. I'm sure you've heard. So we used to have the two tables over here. There would be a desk over here, two tables over there. The tables in the back were like this, and then the rest were like this so that people would sit facing this way. And the rabbi would sit here on his own table, just like we have. And there's a guy sitting approximately where Binyamin sits. And it was the lottery in America was for $1 billion. It was 1.2 billion. And the guy said, Hashem, if you give me this, I will sit and learn Torah. I said to him, he doesn't need your money. He has Avrechim throughout the world that are willing to sit and learn Torah for, 2,000 shekels barely. And they're sitting and learning 3 Zdarim a day of Gemara or whatever they're learning. And they don't need your $1 billion. So I said, no, I don't think that's going to convince the Kadosh Baruch Hu to give you anything. And I think that's the same way. That is, what the institutions do in a community, that's between the Kadosh Baruch Hu and the community. And it's not necessarily on our shoulders to that we're going to increase now Ishtadlus, we're going to do more so that if we want to daven to Hashem to make us a pipeline for those organizations, I guess in Tefillah, a person can definitely do that. That's an appropriate form of Ishtadlut without necessarily risking. The intention of having, to grow the business to help other people, that I don't know how that's going to fit necessarily. But there's always the best way to succeed in having bitachon is working on midat bitachon. It's learning about midat bitachon, about accepting that we have to do our best to succeed in this world, and understand that whatever we're doing, that's not what dictates the outcome, but rather it is the decision, gzera of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to help us. So I hope it answered. If not, feel free to send me a message, and Be'ezrat Hashem, I'll try to answer. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? Yes, sir.
I was watching this video of an atheist defend his standpoint.
This is not Q&A. Has to do bitachon.
so excited, right?
Well, let's say in the scenario you just gave of starting a business, investing your time and your money in it, and the intention is for, let's say, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Would not the intention of just like building Parnasa to be able to support your wife and family be
That's for sure.
enough?
That for sure.
Like
That-
in all the extra.
Correct. That's for sure. But if you were in a situation where you are providing your family more than what they need, that is, Baruch Hashem, you have enough that all the bills are taken care of, you're putting money on the side, and you're able to help others in a significant way, you're doing well. That's the question. You're in a much different position, right? Right now, how much are you making an hour?
Yeah.
So in your situation, you're starting with, hey Hashem, I need to buy a new belt. I got to buy new underwear. Get a haircut.
Not yet.
No, listen. We have that example.
Yeah, I'm working my way up, exactly. On the way.
Okay, Beseder, let's keep going. So we can continue. That's it. Noam, is everything okay? Okay, good. You come here once a week, twice a week, barely. You're not a personality in this video, okay? This TV show has its own. Yeah, that's it. Dan,
I come as much as
it was good to see you.
Why is that? I don't know.
How was your nap?
Nice. It was nice.
I could tell.
What did you dream about, Dan?
He dreamt about cabs driving around.
Yeah.
That's all his dreams.
We all dream that. Tov. So he said there are those who want to make money, they want to succeed, they will do the ishtadlus, but their whole purpose is so that they will get respect and honor from other people. Okay? And that's what, and he says something very interesting, that since they don't understand what brings kavod to a person, either in this world or in the next world, they think that since the masses respect and honor people with money, but they don't understand that the only reason they're being respected and honored is because the other people desire what they have. It's a very interesting thing. I don't know if you're following what he's saying. He's saying there are people whose sole motivation to make money is they want others to honor them, to respect them, to give them kavod. Okay? But their mistake lies in that those who give them kavod are only doing so because they desire what they have. Okay? That is, the only reason they want to come close to the wealthy people and honor them is because they want to take what the wealthy person has for themselves. And so this is a wrong reason to want to be wealthy. It says, if the masses, individuals would know that they can never get a penny, a pruta, from somebody, unless it was decreed from Hashem, then they would only provide honor to Hashem. Which is also, you could say, that's not really lechatchila. That is the only reason I honor Hashem and I do what Hashem wants is because what? I want money from Him. But okay, so that's a little lo lishma. It's not for its own sake. But it beats honoring people because you're trying to get close to their pockets and try to get their wealth to rub off on you. Okay? And so, because people don't understand this, instead of fulfilling their obligations to Hashem, individuals run around investing their energy, trying to get close to people who are very wealthy, hoping, assuming that that's going to be their opening to make money. Now, we could pause right here and ask, well, isn't that good ishtadlus? That is, if my goal, let's say I start a business, okay? And the business is, I don't know, give me an idea for, what? No, not kickoff. I'm serious, no?
Shoes? Making shoes?
Making shoes. Do I look like a guy that would make shoes?
Yes,
Oh, here we go.
I said it.
I know, but that's not what we're talking about.
Oh, okay, fine.
An engineer.
Ice cream.
You run a
Ice cream.
engineer is not a company.
Ice cream.
So let's say I open a business for online marketing of new AI products. Why are you laughing?
Is that what you see?
What? I don't know if you've been, I didn't share this with you. I told you yesterday that I had a whole debate with Claude, one of the AI. So then today I took that whole discussion and sent it to Grok. Do you know who Grok is? That's Elon Musk's AI. And I said, please analyze the discussion where I tried to show the probability that Judaism is more probable to be true than other religions. And it was very interesting what it said. Okay, maybe I'll share with you one day. So I'm interested in these things. I know what AI products out there. Okay, so let's say I want to do that. What are you laughing at?
AI products.
Yes, there are lots and lots of AI components that you could use to make all sorts of things and succeed and make things a lot easier.
Right, so that was just the chat AI.
No, but I'm not talking about just chat. Okay, Dan, get him out of here. Chase is getting annoyed. He's here for this show, not that show. So let's imagine we have this. So one of the first steps people will tell you have to do is, as I'm quoting one of our students here, I won't say his name, Shaya, network. You have to network. Right? You have to get on LinkedIn. You got to get your profile. You get yourself in the social media. You got to start marketing yourself and your knowledge and start over here and over. So you could say this whole idea of networking, and when you try to be around people who are successful and made it, that's going to be shtadlus for your business. So is that wrong to do? Or is that what he's saying is different than what we're talking about? How is it different?
Well, the intention, like that you're talking about, where you can always tell when people are in a room or around like those wealthy people you're talking about for those reasons, because like it's obvious. They're usually trying to like take advantage. They're always like waiting for the next thing to do, and usually the network or the professional person is like, I'm gonna mind my own business, but I value your advice and I value the like a mentor, for example, is a very normal relationship to have in business, and what you're talking about. And you're not like, oh, I'm going to steal all my mentor's going to give me all of their money. Like, that's not a thought that occurs to me. But they'll help me with my own stuff. And they've gone through these trials. They've gone through all the hardship.
So there is a line that we were saying, that networking, trying to be around successful people, breeds success, right? I heard put your hand down. You have to be here consistently 3 weeks in a row before you get to ask a question.
I thought you said each topic is separate.
What?
I think you said each discussion.
Each taping is an independent, standalone program. Correct.
So I can ask
But no, questions in the audience are only from students who are here Sunday through Thursday, 3 weeks in a row.
But I told you I can't come over.
I guess then you can't ask questions then.
Right, I'll shut up.
Okay. Thank you, Yuri. You see, that's a lot of, you could have just accepted this the first time. Now you ruined my train of thought, and I wanted to say something. I saw this video of a woman who said something very, very intriguing. She said, if your 5 friends are broke, you're going to be the 6th broke person. If you're going to be around 10 people who are unemployed, you're going to be the 11th one. And she sort of gave these examples. And that's a question. It's a question. That is that part of our ishtadlus to be around the right people? Try to think about yeshiva. We're all here theoretically for the same reason, Blake. Theoretically for the same reason. Some of the guys are here is because, as a woman told me, the guys are in yeshiva hiding because they're afraid of women. I said, okay, who? She did not leave a name. Who told me? I didn't want to say, well, you were the only choice. I would hide too. But she thought this was like a witness protection for the men, So there are some guys who, let's say, come to yeshivas for the wrong reason. Okay? But for the most part, and I've spoken independently with each and every one of you, I have a good idea of why you're here. And most of you are here for the right reasons. Which means what? You're here to connect to Hashem, to learn Torah, to gain skills of how to live a life as a committed Jew. Okay? Is that a fair representation of why you people are here? Dan, is that fair? Do you agree with it? Because you're not here for the food. Correct? Yeah. The cholent that they're making, whew, I don't get it. No way, man. No, I smelled whatever I smelled, and I said, I'm not doing that. No wonder people. And actually, I have a meeting on Thursdays. Actually, no, I don't think so. What are you guys doing? How can one do Mishmar different? Mishmar has two major components: food and hanging out. However combination you do that, you're going to end up food with hanging out.
Latino Mishmar has a supreme lack of hanging out and socializing together. It's more like sitting and listening to Rabbi.
That's not true. That's not true, my friend. I think it's not a question of changing. I think you owe the rabbi an apology. That's not true. You should come and try it and see for yourself.
He's J101.
He's what?
He's J101.
So what? You won't welcome a Jew who wants to have a little bit of children and a beer?
I welcome him, but I've never seen him come.
Doesn't mean I can't come. I don't need the orange tape to come.
He doesn't have orange tape.
Not anymore.
He can't come now anyway. Okay. Avi, that's not nice. That's not how we...
No.
No.
He made it seem as
No.
if he's been coming to the Mishmar before.
It doesn't matter. Okay. I was trying to make a point. The point is, gentlemen, that the people you're around,
They're discriminating against
I'm telling you, if I had a dart gun, that's it. So, the point that I'm talking to somebody intelligent who understands me as opposed to what's happening over here. The people that you're around influence you a lot more than you think. It's a Rambam. The Rambam says it in Mishneh Torah, in Ilchot Deos, that we are social creatures and we are influenced by the society in which, or the group of people we're around. If you're going to be around people who are low achievers, you're going to be a low achiever. Is that a guarantee? That's ma'achuz, 100%? No. But it's much more likely that that's going to be your influence. But if you are interested in pushing yourself, growing, just look at the rabbis that are teaching you. I mean, one of the amazing things about Ohr Somayach is that they're all high-performance individuals that could succeed in any field, not just Torah. And if you allow that to influence you, that's part of your hishtadlus for your success. And so, what he's saying is, if the motivation that you have to honor, to get close to people is because of your taiva, to get their money, that's the wrong type of ishtadlus, is the wrong type of kavod. And that really you have to fulfill your obligations to Hashem and understand and have gratitude to the benefits and blessings that He does for you. That's going to lead you to have wealth. The ultimate source of wealth is not you, and it's not other people, and it's not Donald Trump or Elon Musk or whatever billionaire you're thinking of. It is the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Yes, no.
I just want to say it was HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yeah.
Okay, oh, good. Okay, we don't really do songs in Mechina.
Oh, no, I know.
Telling you that dart gun is coming in.
Want me to source you one? I can source you one.
What does that mean? Source me one.
I can find you, with
I-
elephant grade.
I don't.
Send it.
He doesn't need. I don't need for him elephant grade.
You're gonna put him in coma.
Wait, that's not a bad idea. For how long? For how long? Tov. So he says that usually the way that you want to look at money, our sort of perspective should be that of all those who seek money, there are those who, through derech hateva, through causes, what we call natural causes, succeeded. There are those who inherited it. Okay? And he says, whatever your source of wealth was, however you became wealthy, you could even get married with somebody wealthy. Is that what you're hoping for?
No, I just know someone who did that.
Well, what's wrong with that? So, you could be born wealthy. Thereby you'd inherit the wealth. But in all of these cases, whether you made it on your own, you married somebody wealthy, or you inherited the wealth, he says, ask yourself, think about the cause that brought you this wealth. And you have to understand that without that cause, you would have never succeeded. And that cause was created by Hashem. And he says it's similar to a man who is in the middle of the desert, dying of thirst. He's very, very thirsty, and all of a sudden he finds water. And he finds these putrid waters, disgusting with, bugs around them. But that's all he's got. And so he tries to drink a little bit, and then as he keeps looking up, and he finds all of a sudden a spring with fresh water, with pina coladas, with ice. So he finds his fresh water source. And what will he do? He regrets that he drank so much water from the previous mud pit. And that if he only saw this first, he wouldn't have drank it all. And so he says you have to understand that is how that Hashem can help you. And there's nothing that's stopping Hashem from helping you. It's not that in order for him to help you, you need to have be in the right place, the right time. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And therefore, he says, the person has to trust Hashem such that, with regard to Parnasa, that if the Parnasa is taken a little longer to get to you, okay? But you have to say, Hashem, who brought me into this world at a set time, and he's keeping me here, and if he is holding back my Parnasa, he knows what he's doing. And it must be for my benefit. And this principle needs to be in every aspect of your life, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whether it's Parnasa, whether it's opportunities to learn Torah. Sometimes you feel you're stuck, you're not advancing, you're not growing, you're lost, you don't know what's going on, Avi, right? Keep confusing Rabbi Lazar with
I didn't.
Rabbi Meir. I didn't say you. I didn't say you. Touchy. But everything is medugdak, detailed, diuk in Shamayim. That's midat bitachon. We have bitachon that Hashem is not confused about what I need. He didn't ignore me. He didn't forget about me. But there are going to be days, and we mentioned this before in Shir, that it's going to be hard for us to have this level of bitachon. When things are going well, it's very easy to have bitachon. Some of the stories, I don't know if you've read the interviews with some of the hostages that were in Gaza, the Shvuim, that they describe how much the experience brought them closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with emunah and bitachon. Whether the family or the people, but were there were some of them that were mamish moser nefesh in captivity to not work on Shabbat. There was one girl that was did not work on Shabbat. They tried to fast on Yom Kippur when they knew. And one girl said that somehow she heard the slichot in the kotel that they were doing for them to release them, and it gave her big chizuk. So you see that bitachon and emunah is easy now when things are going very well, but there's going to be challenges for all of us. Shem Yirachem. And we have to have emunah and bitachon even in the challenging days. That Hashem knows what He's doing, Hillel. As difficult as it's going to be on Shabbos. And your hands are going to shake. And you're going to be... Just think of the potato chips that you're going to be able... Every bite is going to make the feeling go so much better. No, it's not.
I'm just miserable.
Bunch of drug addicts. So, when things get tough, he says, just stop and think. How did you get to where you are today? Kadosh Baruch Hu provided for you nurturing parents. They gave you whatever you needed. Yeah, they might have been not so nice. It could have been this, they could have been that. Why I wasn't born like this, like that. Okay. But Lamaisa, you made it. You're 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old. How old are you? 22 years old. You made it, Baruch Hashem. Hashem took care of you up to now. So now there's a little bit of a slow internet connection. The Wi-Fi doesn't seem to it goes on spurts. N'étant fait pas. Don't worry. Hakuna Matata. Right? Do you know what Hakuna Matata means? What does it mean?
It means no worries.
We cater to international students from all over the world. I have to use all the languages I know.
Arabic?
What? What about Arabic?
I know Rabbi speaks Arabic on here.
I don't speak Arabic. I read and I learn to translate. I don't really speak. Today I had to use a little bit of Arabic because the Arab woman near in front of me on the light rail, she was standing way too. I said, you need to move in. So then didn't really have any Hebrew. She was trying to tell me that the new train is worse than the bad train and that the trains there's less space, but I said it's wider. And when I told her it's wide in Arabic, she looked at me like, how do you know the word? So,
What's the word?
no, we're not playing. Told you are no questions.
No way. It's wider. You were describing her or the train?
I don't know what she looked like, honestly. She was standing way too, I was afraid she was going to get hit, and then I wasn't going to get to yeshiva, because then it's going to be a whole big mess, you know. So, but Baruch Hashem, she moved, and the train came, and it was the old train, so she had nothing to complain about. What? Yeah, they have both, the old train and the new train. Yeah, it's both. That's thank God, Baruch Hashem, that's it.
Well, yeah, because the new ones there's like no space.
There's no space in the new ones. Oh, Rachmanis. Rachmanis.
We use our credit cards.
Just wait it. No, you can use even on the old ones. Yeah, they changed the to all of them the same way. See, now it's winter. So if you think you don't have space now, wait for summer. And imagine summer when it's going to be this packed. And the level of tznius is going to be much higher. You're going to make friends real quick. People are going to know who the moil was. Yes?
So we've been learning a lot about like what betachon is and how much Hashem does for us, but we don't have like full control of our minds. Like, don't think of the purple elephant.
Stop. So the question is, or the statement, is that we don't have full control of our minds. Do you agree with that? No. People don't agree with you.
Okay, well, they're wrong.
You can't control your thoughts?
Not always.
I can control my thoughts.
What?
Some of them.
What do you mean?
If I say don't think of a purple elephant, I give you it's an instruction, and you don't want to, you will think of a purple elephant.
I'm not thinking of a purple elephant.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of you.
Hey, regardless, our brain runs thoughts, that we don't have full control over. Like rationales for connecting dots, it's instinct for our brain to figure things out. So when something amazing comes our way, and you teaching us to have betachon and to see Hashem's hand in it and to trust, like naturally our brains can find ways where this rationally could have happened. How do I get to yeshiva? Not through Hashem, through these sequence of events that was all up to me. Like, how do we actually implement?
So then okay. So, what by learning about bitachon, you are adding a layer into your mind that instead of interpreting matters according to nature, to interpret that nature functions according to Hashem. That there are a series of causes, and those causes are all run by Hashem. And Hashem runs the universe. And that's when you're practicing thinking, that is how you're going to think about every situation. Again, your thoughts and where your mind is depends on what circle you're in. If you went back now to South Africa, to your old previous life, we both know what sort of ideas you would be, where your mind would be most of the day.
Elephants.
Pink ones. Okay, but once you made the shift, you changed. Now in your mind, you're thinking more Torah, more Chesed, more Tzedakah, more Halacha, more holy thoughts. And the non-holy thoughts are getting sort of, it sort of grows. Torah is pushing, and the other nonsense goes,
Yeah, but it doesn't leave.
I didn't say it leaves. But you're sort of adding, and that becomes more dominant. And that's what's going to happen. If you work on Midat HaBitachon, it becomes in you more dominant and more dominant, stronger and stronger, and that's how you're going to see the world.
Is there a way to get rid of the other ones?
Yes. It's called a lobotomy.
Well, they exist for a reason. For us to fight them.
They exist for a reason for us to fight, as a nisayon. Okay. But also because consequences of the nonsense that we filled our head with.
You're saying like if it was never an influence, it wouldn't affect us.
Yeah. It's, it's like Seinfeld episodes. Like I know them, they go like this. What am I going to do? It's just stuck, because of... Or some things that it's like, how do I remember this? Like yesterday, as you know, on Tuesday I teach in an Israeli yeshiva in Shari Chesed neighborhood in Yerushalayim, and I'm teaching a sefer called Moreh Nevuchim, and we are now in one of the hardest sections of the book. It's really, really difficult. It is, the Rambam presents the teachings of a theological school in Islam that was dominant about 100 years before the Rambam, probably. Okay? And Rabbi Yehuda Halevi in the Kuzari does that also. I don't really have a good understanding why. But anyway, the Rambam brings their theories and then he tears them apart. Okay? So we're going through these theories and I'm explaining this to college age, like your age, pretty much, but just Israeli. For better or worse, right? And there are things there that I'm always surprised that I actually remember how to explain this and what Aristotle's position was vis-a-vis this and why this doesn't work and this does work, and because I spent a long time learning this stuff. And it's sort of in there. I don't really prepare much for this year because I'm familiar with this section. But, I don't remember all the details. I haven't seen this section of the Moreh Nevuchim. I haven't seen since 94. Okay? 'Cause in 94? Yeah, 94. That's when I started translating it from Arabic to English. So I was working on this section. It's like a long time ago. So, but it's in there. It's unbelievable what your brain, and there is no limit of how much you could fill your brain. You're starting to learn Torah in a very young age compared to when I started. So just imagine you're going to have an extra 10, 20, 30 years. 40 years, 50 years to learn? It's unbelievable where you're going to be. I don't have that much time, so I got to pick up the pace. But Noam or Yirmi, I'm not talking about Moishi. When was your bar mitzvah yesterday?
Then why do people say that movies are so detrimental if you have unlimited space?
It's detrimental not because of space. One, it affects your ability to imagine. It does the imagination for you and implants images that are sometimes very violent, sexualized language and scenes that you really don't need. It does remove a level of innocence. And it is a tremendous waste of time. Because most people are not going to watch just a movie and that's it. It's like a movie and another movie, and then after a few movies you get Netflix and then you watch this and you watch that, and it becomes sort of what to do when you don't have anything to do. But
you're saying if you have like a 30-minute time frame and you watch only within those 30 minutes, then it's not bad, or
it depends what you're watching. I don't know what you're watching. I don't want to know. We're in public.
it depends on content also.
What?
It depends on content also.
Correct.
And time.
Yeah. If a person needs downtime, it's probably healthier to find better ways to chill. But if, you find that that's the most relaxing, so the question is, then the content. What are you filling your brain with? What images, what messages, what... Okay, so that's, yes.
Would it be better to just self-filter at that point?
What?
Would it be better to self-filter? Let's say you're watching a movie or a show, and like you mentioned, the scenes that have maybe more violence or vulgarity or whatever are not contributing to the plot or the story or whatever. Can you just skip all that and then...
But that's not realistic. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. There's this is sort of going back now to a completely different mindset. When I was at University of Nebraska, I was involved in a journal called Journal of Religion and Film. And we would, as the associate editors, we would go to Sundance Film Festival to try to look at movies that we could write about. So I remember the movie of The Pianist came out. So I told my colleague said, hey, let's go watch it together. So I didn't really want to watch it. I'm not big on watching Holocaust films. But I said, okay. So I remember we went, and as we're walking in, he all of a sudden makes a beeline to the concession stand. I said to him, where are you going? He says, what? I'm going to buy some popcorn. I said, what? You're going to watch a movie about how Jews are being killed, and you're going to be eating popcorn? Are you nuts? And he said to me, innocently, but it's a slasher film.
What?
It's a slasher film.
What's that? No.
It's a genre of films where you start out with, let's say, 10 characters, and you're essentially watching them being killed one by one. And then in the end, you have somebody survive. That's what I said. I said, what are you talking about? And we got into this big argument of the philosophical, ethical position that one should have when watching Holocaust films. And so he told me, listen, it's very interesting, your little theory. Prove it. So I wrote a study of Holocaust films. And what was right by him is he published it. He wrote a book on religion and film. It was considered the textbook on religion and film. And in there, I have a whole chapter on Holocaust films and how one should approach them. And in that, one of the studies that I've done was there's a movie called Shoah. Shoah was, I don't remember how many hours. It's like 8 or 9 hours. That was a movie made by a French film artist called Claude Lanzmann. And Claude Lanzmann, once Spielberg put out Schindler's List, he came out and wrote against Schindler's List. Okay? And he was in Yale at the time, and he was writing against, pointing out how Hollywood presents stories and how the selection of the stories and what's happening, and a very serious critique of Schindler's List. Okay? Once you understand how Hollywood works, of what stories are they looking for, what's the purpose of, you are getting manipulated by the director for certain emotional reactions. There's a movie called Gray Zone with Harvey Keitel on the crematoriums in Auschwitz. It says it's based on a true story. It takes 2 incidents that happen independently and puts them in one movie together for no reason, but only to get your kishkis turned. One incident was, there was a gassing of a group of Jews, Hungarian Jews, and one little girl survived the gassing, and she didn't die. It's true. And the people in the crematorium, the Sonderkommando, tried to hide her, and they were able to hide her for, I don't remember if it was a few hours or less than an hour. Then she was discovered, shot, and come on. Okay, but in the movie, that's not what they do. He does like a whole, and then there was another part where the Sonderkommando smuggled in corpses explosives from the women's. The women worked in a weapons factory, and when they would put in the cavities of corpses small amounts of explosives, and in the crematorium they would take them out, and when they had enough, they blew up one of the crematoriums, and that's true. That's what happened. And he puts the two things together, and the entire thing is to manipulate you into this sort of gray zone of moral and ethic, which then you're sort of using the Holocaust as a way to entertain, which was what the whole point of Schindler's List. Because Schindler's List, from Lanzmann's criticism, was we're going to present the Holocaust from a German perspective, because Schindler was not a Jew. The pianist, on the other hand, is from a perspective of a Jew, and it was the director of the pianist was actually a Holocaust survivor. What's his name? Roman Polanski. But he was from Warsaw. Sorry, he was from Krakow. He was offered to do the Schindler's List, but he didn't want to because it was too close. He did the one on Warsaw. And it was, if you notice the entire movie, the main actor that through which the movie is coming, he's in every scene, which gives it more credibility. And if you studied anything about the Warsaw Ghetto, there's some scenes that we actually have photos from, and they recreated the photo exactly, just in color. So movies are very manipulative, very problematic in what they're trying to send and what messages they're sending. So if you're watching a movie just like zoning, eating, whatever, okay, I guess. But if you're with a half a brain and you're going to sort of participate in what they're trying to, then they're imprinting on you certain values, certain perspectives that I don't know that you need. Dan, I'm sorry, I owe you 5 minutes tomorrow.
No.
Stop.